Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and you may even meet Lucky. Lucky is stepping all over my stuff, my new cat, right before I'm getting ready to broadcast. But we're having no technical issues that I know of right now, so yay, that's a good thing. Welcome to another live paper crafting class on Facebook, and we're going to have lots of fun today. Today I'm going to introduce you to some blends, Stampin' blends, these alcohol-based markers that Stampin' Up! Has had for a couple of years now, and we're just expanding the line. So I have a feeling that these are staying, and I'm so excited because they're so much fun to work with. So I'm going to get started right away. Hi everyone, I'm seeing some names pop up now. There's Sylvia and Cecilia, Mary Jo, awesome. Janice is with us. Thank you for joining me. So I just want to mention too a couple things before we get started, that I do draw for prizes at the end. So if you are commenting, if you're saying hello, where you're from, telling me a joke, giving some great tips and ideas that I might forget about or that I don't even know about, helping each other out when I don't catch comments, because I'm not very good at watching my little comment screen over there. But anyways, if you are commenting, if you're sharing the broadcast and you are mentioning that you're sharing the broadcast, you're going to get entered into the prize drawing at the very end of this broadcast. We have some adhesive today. I don't have anything exciting, but we can always use adhesive, and then of course somebody will get the card that I demonstrate. So we'll draw for 2 winners. Also, if you are not from the US and you win, you will get a card no matter what. I can't send product, but I can at least gift you in some way. So look at all the names of people popping up. This is awesome. Deborah's back with us again, and Carol and Dawn again. Oh, this is awesome. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. We're going to look at the measurements that we need right away, and of course the supplies. So here we go. You can see that we're going to do Serene Garden is our stamp set, okay? And I'm actually going to bring in another stamp set that is new. You won't be able to get it until November. It's called Happiness Surrounds, but you can substitute that stamp set with any other stamp set that has words that you like. But Serene Garden is the main stamp set, and this does not come with any sentiments in it. It's an image stamp set. So, and I'll show you that in just a second. Here we have our measurements. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. Otherwise, you can wait until Saturday when I post it all on my blog. I'll also have close-up photos of what I'm sharing on my blog. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, Jane. All right, measurements are, early espresso is our card base. It's going to be folded in half. It's the long ways. Now, I'm not going to cut any cardstock for you today because we're going to just dive right into the blends. We have so much to teach with blends, and I'm not even going to cover it all. It's amazing what you can learn about blends markers. Whisper White, we're going to have a couple pieces that are the same size, one for the inside, one for the outside. It's always wise to have the same size piece. If they're really close, you might as well just make them the same so you don't mess up, right? And then we have a scrap for stamping and punching the sentiment. Pear Pizzazz is my layering color, although you could change that out. Whisper White ribbon, because we are going to color on that. And then I'm going to use some Country Lane designer paper, but you could use any designer paper really that works with the background. And over here you can see that I'm using these colors of blends markers, but you can substitute those as well, because I have 3 other color versions, or 3 total versions of this card to share with you. All right, so let's go ahead and get set up here on my computer screen. Hang on a minute. I don't think I pushed my button. Here it is. There's my button. All right, so we're going to get started. Here is the stamp set called Serene Garden, and you can see, again, no sentiments with it, but it is a beautiful stamp set. In fact, it actually coordinates with a set of dies, so you can buy them together and save 10%. The dies will cut out these flowers, this bird, this flower, actually some select leaves in here, so it's really cool. You can get a 3D effect. But we're not using the dies today. We're just going to use that stamp set. And then this is the new stamp set. It is called Happiness Surrounds, and it is going to be available to everyone in November 1st. Right now, demonstrators can pre-order and purchase this stamp set. It has some really cute sayings in it that fit into the ideal spot on this card, okay? All right, and here are the pieces that we need. So we need early espresso cardstock, and oh my gosh, I think I need to make an order soon. I keep forgetting things. Last week, I think I had dimensionals I was running out of. Now I have dimensionals, but my goodness, this is my last sheet of early espresso. I love this color. So this will be our card base, and what I did is I just took 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it in half the long way, and then scored it or folded it in half this way. So that's the base. And I did put bone folder on the supply list. It's optional. You only need it really to add a crease. Here is the designer paper. So again, you don't have to use this particular one. We do have another set of designer papers that has all wood grain images. It's a 6x6 pack and it's beautiful. But this one I thought I would use because it comes from the holiday catalog. It's called Country Lane. And you get 2 full 12 by 12 sheets of that. Here's the pear pizzazz layer, a couple whites, and then the ribbon. I'm going to use some scrap paper. This is just some of our grid paper. This is actually a demonstrator packet of grid paper that I have from a long time ago. And we're going to use that. I just folded it in half so that we can color because the blends actually soak through. So these are the colors that I'm going to use for the card that I'm going to show you today. Let's zoom in just a tad so you can see a little bit closer as we go. So Cajun Craze, the light and dark. We have Old Olive, the light and dark. I'm going to use the light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use Crumb Cake light and dark. And then I've just got my color lifter blends marker in here because that helps in case I make mistakes or if I want to highlight or if I want to lighten colors. So we'll just set that aside in case we need it. The Cajun Craze is one of our newer packs of blends. We have this in the holiday catalog, and then the other colors you can get in the annual catalog. So how many blends do we have? We have currently 22 in the annual catalog and 6 in the holiday catalog. Way better than 12, which is what we started off with last year. So that's 28 colors now, and I hope that they keep on making more. I hope that they're taking the holiday catalog markers and carrying them into springtime so that we can continue to get those. And then we also have the ivory and the bronze skin tone colors. So I guess you'd call it 28, 29, 30 colors, but then you have double of the 28. So gosh, what is that? That's 60, I don't know, do the math. So we have lots of colors. Now, ideally, it's great to blend with matching colors, like the light and the dark, but you can color with 2 different shades too. I'm gonna go over the basics with you today. We need to start by stamping our images, and we're gonna take this corner image, which actually has a line on it, and I'm gonna eliminate the line because it kind of bugged me on this small space anyways. So I'm going to stamp with our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And you need to use a water-based ink. Tuxedo Memento is perfect for this. In fact, I feel like it was made for the blends markers. So we're just inking, pouncing up and down here to get ink on our stamp. I have to give it a little more oomph. Hang on. Oh yeah, that's better. And then I'm going to center this right over the top so that I see the lines coming on the outside of the white. And this is hard to do. Right, hang on a minute, I have to go a little closer. Ignore the top of my head. Okay, there we go. I had to hover over it. I was probably in the way of all the cameras, right? Okay, so there is that image. Oh, perfect. And then we need to make this little stamp image go on our other Whisper White piece. And I'm using Whisper White thick cardstock. So, Cajun Craze is your favorite, Mary? Oh, I love it. Well, then you must love fall. And yes, you said, especially this time of year. That's why I'm using it, because I think it's ideal for this time of year as well. It's just got that that fall autumn leaf look, right? Oh, I'm going to keep this out because I'm going to stamp a couple more things here too. Might as well do those now. The sentiments. This one says, surround yourself with happiness, which is a good thing to kind of go by all the time, isn't it? If you've got a lot of negativity in your life, try to get rid of it. You can't get rid of all negativity, but, you know, try to turn things around and make them happy, right? So I'm using Whisper White thick cardstock. I started saying that. because it tends to take on the blends markers a lot better than the regular Whisper White. I did kind of a little experiment with it. A lot of demonstrators have, and we've discovered that the thick white is the best. You can also use the thick Very Vanilla, but anytime you have a little bit of coloring in your cardstock, you're going to get a little bit of that coloring within the blends look too. This is my scrap Whisper White. I just needed that to stamp and punch my sentiment. And this is my 1 1/4 inch punch. Notice I turned it upside down to punch. I'll show you that with this one here too. This is the 1 3/8 inch scallop circle punch. And that one's going to get punched out of this piece, which you might think is kind of weird right now, but we might as well just do all the punching. And I'm going to punch really close to the top, but not super close. You could use the top of that paper as a guide, which I did on a couple of my samples, but I'm going to go in just a little bit more so that it's higher. And I also want to leave just a little bit here so that the sentiment kind of comes off to the right hand side. I love it when you guys tell me where you're from. Is that, how do you say your name? Is it Linny? I think it's Linny. Anyways, it's nice to meet you from Michigan. Thanks for tuning in. And Ashley's with us. I know, I love blends too, Ashley. They are the best. Okay, so we have all our stamped pieces and punched pieces ready to go. And now we can start coloring. So these are Stampin' Up's artist quality markers. They are alcohol-based, Premier, they're wonderful stuff, okay? But they make it easy for the beginning stamper, paper crafter, whatever, to become an artist. You look like an artist because you don't have to do a lot of mathematics, I guess you would say, with using these colors. You don't have to have a lot of science in it. We're going to start with the light Old Olive, and there's 2 tips on our blends markers. There is, here I'll turn it so you can read it. There's the bullet tip, and then there's the brush tip. And there's also these little bumps here on the caps. The barrel is rectangular so that it doesn't roll away from you. And the bumps help so that when you pull the caps off, you have something to grip onto. So there's the brush tip at one end. And then here is the bullet tip at the other end. Did you also notice the way I was pulling off the caps? If you hold it like this and then you push with your 2 thumbs, you prevent the cap from flying off and having any juicy marker ink get onto your project. Because spattering does occur sometimes if you have a really, really juicy marker. So if you go like that, now I don't do it every time, but I do it as often as I can think of. Also, when you put the cap on, you want to make sure that you're going straight in. If you get it in at an angle, you can damage this tip, especially this one, the brush tip. And if you aren't sure, if it's hard for you to do that, just lay them on the table and then bring the cap in and it'll go straight in. Also listen for that click. You want to keep these alcohol-based markers really capped tightly because alcohol dries and it dries quickly. So we're going to start by coloring with the light one. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see better here. Hopefully we don't get blurry. Sometimes when I zoom in too far, we get blurry. And I hope I don't shake too much too. Sometimes when I'm nervous that I'm not going to remember to say everything, I shake a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to do that one section. I'm going to cap this marker. I'm going to go over to my dark Old Olive and pull off the cap on the bullet tip and draw in just in the middle of the leaves and a little bit out towards the outward part of the leaf. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a 3D look with my markers just by using 2 colors and going in with the dark where I feel that there's less light. So I colored the whole surface with the light blends first, and then I colored the dark one in there. Now I can leave it like that. It's not too bad. And you can see the difference in the dark and the light, but I want it to blend just a little bit more. So I'm going to come in with my brush tip again on my light, and I'm just going to go where the 2 colors met and go over that again and blend outwards so that I don't have such a distinct line between the light and the dark. And I can even do that one more time. If I really want to get a big difference between the light and the dark, I can go in one more time with that dark and really get that dark color in there. And when you look at this, you can definitely see a big difference between the light and the dark of the leaves. If I wanted an even bigger difference, I can lighten the leaves by coming in and adding just a little swipe across with my color lifter. So just going very lightly on the outside edges. Now the color lifter does three things that I mentioned before. It helps to push color away or erase in areas that you don't want it to be. It also helps to lighten like I just did now, and I'll show you the result in a minute. And then it also helps to highlight. So if I wanted to use the bullet tip, I could go over an area a lot, and it would push the color away and give it kind of like a white line there, like if I wanted to highlight a balloon or something. But here I just added a little bit around the outside edges, and I made that green, that lighter green, look even lighter. So that's real basic, and it's real doable too. All of you can do this, I'm sure. If you've never touched these markers before, I encourage you to give them a try. Again, there are 6 different colors, but 2 of each available in the holiday catalog right now. Let's see if I can remember the names of them. Blackberry Bliss, Shaded Spruce, Real Red, Basic Black, Cajun Craze, and Mango Melody. Hey, I'm so good. That's awesome that I remembered those 6. Those are the 6 newest ones. And then again, we have 22 in the regular catalog. So they are $4.50 a piece if you want to buy them in singles. That's US pricing. Otherwise, you can get them in a set for $9, and that way it's less order numbers to put in when you order, right? And the nice thing about buying them, being able to buy them singly or one at a time, is sometimes, like for me, for an example, I use up my light one a lot. Notice I do the brush end one with that, and I color twice. That's typically how I like to do it. So if you're somebody like me that uses your light blends markers more often, you'll have to replace that one more often, right? That would be the one that would get used up first. So now, why am I doing one section at a time? Thank you, by the way, for your comments. They're so sweet. I'm doing one section at a time because the ink does dry, and you know it should, right? We want it to dry. But while it's still fresh, it's very manipulative. It's not manipulative. You can manipulate it. You can change. You can move it around. You can make it blend better. So we want to make sure that we're not coloring too many of these green leaves at once, because otherwise we won't get that real pretty soft look of the blend when we go in. So I'm just doing a couple sections at a time. Let me see if I can tell you some other things about blends markers. The caps, those are nestable. What that means is that you can take, if you want to, if you're worried about the mess on your desk, you can cap them, or nest them, I should say, so that you can keep the cap with you and not have it disappear in all the other craziness of your desk, right, of your table. So let's see, you want to store them horizontally. You want to make sure that the ink is even on both ends. So storing them horizontally instead of like this is ideal. If you store them this way, the ink is going to flow more to the lower end. There's also, did I show you this? There's a thick line on this end with the brush tip. See that thick line right here? And then there's a thin line. So that helps also the visuals so that you know what's at which end before you uncap it. Let's see here. I'm looking through my notes that are right in front of me here. Memento Tuxedo Black ink is ideal, but you can also use other water-based inks for your outline. We had this real beautiful stamp image in the Celebration catalog last year, and a lot of people were stamping that in Smoky Slate or Daffodil Delight, a real light color, and then they were going in with their blends and coloring so that it looked like you couldn't see the outline of it. You could just see the beautiful, you know, blends and all that. It was gorgeous. So you don't have to use black. I prefer, I'm one of those people that really likes bright images and stuff. I don't know why, but that's me. And so I prefer to have that black outline. I think I like it a lot. So I love the Memento, and I don't know. Anyways, that's me. Grid paper is important to have, of course, or scrap paper underneath. You want to have some good cardstock, like the Whisper White Thick. You can also use shimmery white cardstock. You can use the watercolor paper. You can use, oh gosh, of course, the very vanilla. You can use even like the light colored cardstocks, like if you wanted to color on crumb cake or one of the pale colors or whatever, you can do that as well. But the only thing is when you color on vanilla or a pale color, you get some of that tone coming through when you actually color. Like if I were to color a blue onto the vanilla, it would kind of get a more greenish blue look because it would have that yellow color behind it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to set these aside. I did make a little bit of a boo-boo and went outside the lines. I'm sure I did it a couple of times, but my eyes are old and I can't see that far away. But I did it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push that color with the color lifter. I'm just using the bullet tip, and I'm pushing that color so that it goes this way back onto the leaf area. Okay? All right. Oh yes, thank you. Let me mention the Stays On ink. I noticed a couple of you are talking about that. So Stays On ink versus Memento. Stays On ink is now I forgot the name of it. It's the wrong ink. Stays On ink is, let me grab it. Hang on. And I'm not going to be able to read it from here. But it is designed for watercoloring mainly. Somebody give me the word for it. I'm looking for the word. Solvent. It's a solvent-based ink. There we go. And when you stamp with this, it's permanent. And so if you do watercoloring, like the regular Stampin' Write markers, which are water-based, or you do watercolor pencils or something like that with it, this ink will stay in place. It won't blend with all the colors that you're blending around it. So this is great for watercoloring, and this is great for alcohol-based coloring. So you want to use opposites, okay? So this is a water-based ink. Use that with your alcohol markers. This is alcohol or solvent-based, so you want to use that with watercolor markers. Hope that helps. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad that somebody started talking about that. Yes, Copics are another type of marker. They're not too different. They're a different brand. The Copics are more scientific, I would say, and not to put them down, but this is the Stampin' Blends are awesome for affordability and for making it easier for any paper crafter. But the Copics, there's this whole chart that you look at, and it's very very scientific, and I don't know how to explain it. It takes a little bit of knowledge and learning to use the Copics, because you want to make sure that you're blending those colors the right way. Now, I don't know if they have light and dark shades of different ones, or if they just have all these different colors, and then you look on their charts to figure it out. But yeah. So that's what I know about Copics. I don't own any. I've seen results of them, and it's beautiful. So these are similar as far as alcohol-based markers. Oops, I want to use the bullet tip on this one. So now I'm coloring my flowers on here with the Cajun Craze color. And I know that on the inside of my flower, where it folds up, it's a little bit darker in there, so I'm doing some dark colors in there. And then I just want to have a little bit of shading around the outside edge of parts of it here and there, as if the light's not shining on it too much. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, it's not even done yet. I know it takes a while, but it's so therapeutic to color, you guys. This is, if you do not own any coloring medium, just try it. Just get something and try it, and especially these. These just bring happiness to me when I color with them. But it's therapeutic, it's relaxing, it's so much fun. More questions, shoot them out. Let's see if I can answer and catch them and then answer them. But I'm going to peek up for just a second and see what else I have to tell you. Oh, non-porous surfaces. So you can color non-porous surfaces with these as well. That means things like other than paper, other than wood, that kind of stuff. So something shiny, like I could color the cap of this pen. I could color this ribbon. I could color on pearls. I could color on acetate or window sheets, cellophane bags. Let's just go in. Oops, I better finish this coloring first, right? We're going to go in and color the marker for you with this dark blends real quick. Or I'm sorry, the ribbon for you. So, because we're going to use that on the card too. But yes, you can color on non-porous surfaces. You can color on photos, black and white photos. I've seen that too, where you take and a black and white photo, and if you want to highlight just the hat that somebody's wearing or something. Gorgeous, just really great results. And I hope you're seeing this pretty well from where you're at. I'm seeing some great comments out there, so it looks like you're having the ability. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, I just love this so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this ribbon while we're at it, while we're looking at it here. So you've seen me do ribbon before. I love the metallic edge ribbon. I'm a silver girl, so I really love the silver metallic edge ribbon. But you can color on most of our neutral ribbons as well with these. Now this won't get a little silver metallic look, but notice on the silver ribbon, we have that edge that's silver, and I don't know if you remember, here's the difference. Let me show you this. So this little edge here, but on this one, I flipped it over and I'm not getting the full edge. So I'm going to come in and do both sides of this ribbon. For this one, I didn't have to do both sides because that silver edge was there. But the edge is thicker on both of these ribbons, and on this one, it's white, and it's not really getting that color on it if I, oh, it's stubborn here. I have to tell you something else while I'm talking. Sometimes I get that ADHD thing going on here. Okay, so let me go back. Coloring, color both sides because the thick edge on the outside is white. There we go, it's not metallic. The Stampin' Blends Color Lifter, if you were to get any color on your nails, just use that and it takes it right off your painted nails. It's awesome. Okay, that was my ADHD thing. So I'm gonna set that aside and let it dry a little bit better. I'm also gonna grab my pearls because we're gonna use a few pearls on here. So let's grab those. And you've seen me color pearls and rhinestones before too. So you can color those. You can color washi tape with these. You can color, I hear my cat. You can color, gosh, sequins and metallic things. And I don't think I needed two big ones. That's okay. Lucky's going to jump up here, you guys. He's wanting some attention. Let's just see Lucky for a minute. Hi, Lucky. Are you going to come into the picture for us? People have been asking about you, by the way. All right, let's zoom out just a little bit so you can see him. There he is. There's Lucky. Bye, Lucky. See you later. Thank you, dear. Zoom back in again. All right, so we have those, and we're going to set those aside to dry. Let's finish up the coloring on this. So, yeah, and I have to, since I pointed out my nails, I have to tell you, I just did them, and then I opened my refrigerator door, and I busted the nail polish on one. I was so sad. Oops, I don't want to start with dark first. I want to start with light. I was so sad. I just did them like 2 or 3 days ago, you guys, for you. Oh well. So ignore that one finger. I'm going to. I decided it wasn't worth painting again. All right, so I've got my light crumb cake on there. And now for this piece, or for this color, I'm gonna go under the bottom of the branch here with the dark. And right now you can really see the difference between the dark and the light. Again, I'm going to hold it up. Oops, that's a real tight cap. I'm going to hold it up so you can see that. And now I'm going to come in with that blends light again. I'm using the bullet tip in this small area because I feel I'll have more control, but the brush tip does end in a point, so if you have control with that, you certainly could use that. All right, so we just have one other area to color. See, it looks so much better now because we blended it. So I go light, dark, light. That's my pattern. I just prefer that. I don't know. You can go any way that you want, but that's the pattern that I use. So then we're just going to bring in a little bit of bright color because fall, even though we have these plants that are kind of going into their sleep mode, getting ready for winter, we do have an occasional bright color here and there, right? So we just threw in a little bit of Daffodil Delight. All right, we are ready to assemble the card. My cat, yes, he is very lucky, and we're very lucky to have him. So I think the name actually goes both ways. That's why we named him that. Let's assemble the card. He is very social this morning, though. I tell you, he just wants to be right in with everything. Do you notice this on the back side? Okay, this is something that you want to keep in mind. Oops, sorry about the brightness there. This is something you want to keep in mind when you are coloring with blends. This is why we have scrap paper underneath. That's why I had this piece here, because I wanted to make sure that I was protecting my surface, and I wanted to leave this white so that you could see a nice clean area when I was done coloring. So there we have our back side of the paper. Now we're going to mount this one onto the Pear Pizzazz piece. And the Pear Pizzazz really goes well with Old Olive, I think, so that's why I chose that. Now we'll bring in our ribbon, and our ribbon is very stiff. That happens when you add blends coloring to it. So if you just kind of go like this, it softens it up a bit again. And then we'll tie that around the top, and we can tie it wherever we want to. I have about 11 inches here. I could maybe even go with 10. So if you want to try this technique with your ribbon and you don't have very much left and you want to do the same card, you could definitely probably tie with 10 inches. All right, so now I've got that done. I'm going to grab my snips, and this snips, by the way, I assign to my ribbon. You can see I have a ribbon tied on it. That's a great idea for anybody who can have two scissors. When you have two scissors, keep one just for cutting your ribbons. It stays sharp. Paper dulls scissors. Okay, there's that. And now I can adjust this. Okay, I can move it back and forth just by giving a little curve to my paper. I think I like it there though. And now we'll take a dimensional. See, I have new dimensionals. Yay! So excited. I can't tell you how excited I was when those came in. Now I do have a bunch of paper pumpkin ones. Someone mentioned that last week when I was broadcasting. Well, just grab your paper pumpkin ones. But they are slightly different, and I like to keep my paper pumpkins with my paper pumpkin stuff. So, all right, so there is our sentiment. And it's just kind of hanging off the edge like that. And it gives the illusion that I punched out green for the scallop circle layer, but I didn't. Isn't that fun? How many of you have tried that before? I think it's, what is that called? The bite technique or something? It looks like we took a bite out of the paper, but really fun look. Okay, let's grab the base of our card and put some snail on the back of that. Base of our card, our designer paper, and put that on our base. There's that. This piece is going to go on the inside, so, and we're going to put it off to the left because we want a couple of these fun little guys. Let's see, we'll take the small and the medium. We want them kind of floating off to the side here. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, so there's that. And then on the front of our card, we're going to add that with dimensionals. Remember, if you are commenting, and I see several of you commenting, thank you so much, you're going to get entered into the prize drawing at the end. Very basic prizes today, but everyone can use adhesive. Can't wait to show you what I have. All right, So there's that. We took the backings off the dimensionals. Notice I didn't put the dimensionals where the ribbon is, because that way, if I want to, I can still move that ribbon. I didn't put dimensionals behind the ribbon in this spot either. See, I can still move it. So if I want to, I can just kind of come in here, curve my cardstock a bit, and move that ribbon. Oops, it's not moving too well, but it moves. There we go. So there, I made it a little bit closer to my sentiment that way. Fun. Bring it up a little higher too. Okay, now we're going to put this off to the left. And the reason why I'm putting it off to the left is because when this whole thing gets centered on here, this looks kind of funny. So I decided it was going to be an off to the left kind of card with little accents coming off, and that was why I did that. So let's add this guy here. Oops. Oh, and this is why I wrote down take a pick tool too. If you'd prefer, you can use your take your pick tool, and you can add your little accents that way instead. I still like to lift them up with my scissors though. I'm a snips gal with my pearls and rhinestones. It's just what I'm used to. There's that. Isn't that fun? I'm going to go over my notes real quick too. I'm going to glance at them as I show you these different designs. Let's spread them out first. So these two are the same thing. This one I tied in a bow, so I had extra ribbon for that. But basically the same card. Here is a version with, let's see if I can remember the name. I think this is my Highland Heather. Yep. Highland Heather blends. My, oh shoot. Spruce. Yeah, that Shaded Spruce. Thank you. Shaded Spruce color along. No, this is not Shaded Spruce. I'm sorry. This is Bermuda Bay. So the Bermuda Bay light and dark, and then I have the Coastal Cabana cardstock on there. So, and a little bit of Pool Party, light Pool Party. This darker brown is Soft Suede. So if you were wondering about the colors I used on that card. And then this one here is Mango Melody with the Shaded Spruce. And then I used the new green, Call Me Clover. I'm sorry, I have to look back at my colors. Call Me Clover is this one in here, and also this cardstock here is Call Me Clover. So those are the three cards that I did using that same technique, same stamp sets. Let me peek at my notes here. So I think I mentioned everything about blends. I do want to share with you my favorite ribbon to color again is the Silver Edge metallic ribbon. We have it in gold as well. This is dark flamingo, the flamingo color, and then this is the light. This is the dark old olive, the light old olive. This is the light Night of Navy. So fun, right? And even though we only have 2 skin tone colors, something's going on outside. Can you hear the sirens? Even though we only have 2 skin tone markers, ivory and bronze, you can blend them with different colors. So here we have the ivory, ivory with color lifter over the top, ivory with light pink pirouette over the top. Actually that color's gone now. I need to change my chart. Light crumb cake with ivory. And then we have bronze with the color lifter. Dark crumb cake could be used as a skin tone, dark crumb cake with bronze. So you can see just by combining colors, you can get lots of different skin tones as well. And then here is an example of using colors that aren't the same together. So I didn't use light and dark. This stamp set is retired now, but I wanted to show you this example of using 2 different colors to get a shaded look. So you get a little bit more variety in the look. It looks more intense to me too. So here I have, I think it's Calypso Coral with the Cherry Cobbler color. Here I have Old Olive with Daffodil Delight. This is, I believe, Bermuda Bay with Pool Party. And I think this was Rich Razzleberry with one of the pinks, and I don't remember which one. But just, you know, fun to see that you don't have to just stick with the same colors. The prizes. What do we have for prizes, you guys? Yay! We have, for one person, We have Fast Fuse, which I know we had some Fast Fuse refills in the online store just recently. I'm not sure if they're still there on the clearance rack, but I have a Fast Fuse applicator, like it's got adhesive in it and everything ready to go. And then a sheet of dimensionals from a paper pumpkin kit. Or you can choose the Fast Fuse and the card that I just made today. So if you're the winner of one of those prizes, the first winner gets to pick and the second winner gets the other thing. I hope that that helped. I hope you got some great ideas from this Stampin' Blends 101 class. It was meant to get you started. There's so much more you can do with it. I mean, you can stamp with StazOn on acetate sheets, flip them over, color the back side. You can stamp on white embossed areas on black cardstock. There's just so many things. Anyways, okay, so let's go to the computer, and I'm going to make sure that I refresh my posts, which I don't have to do while you're looking at my computer. I'm going to read some comments while we're talking. Oh my gosh, Simone from Germany is here with us. And you know what, Simone, even though the price is $4.50, I noticed you said great prices, it's comparable to the German money, whatever that is, I forgot. I was just in Germany, and I forgot what you guys... what the German equivalent of our coinage is. Sorry. Anyways, it's the same value. I'll just tell you that. But yeah. All right. Sorry, I have to log in again. So let's see what other comments we have. Did we have questions? I feel like again I was bad at reading comments, and I don't have any helpers with me today. Lucky was here, but he doesn't read. So yeah. Okay, I'm almost refreshed. Hang on a minute. Okay, all right, so we're gonna switch to the computer. Here we go. We have 277 comments. Let's pick a winner from those comments. All right, here we go, you guys. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay, well, there you go. I have to start paying money. I might have to pick the winners afterwards because it looks like I went to my limit. Okay, well, there we go. I promise you guys, hey, that gives you more opportunity to get in on the prize drawing. Yeah, it's a free app, and I was using it for free. I guess I have to start paying money. Let's see if I'm going to play around with this while I'm talking. I want to talk about next week because maybe I can get it to work anyways. Next week, my son is having surgery on Tuesday, so the day before I would normally broadcast, and I think I would be a better mom if I didn't broadcast on that Wednesday. So I'm going to take a break from broadcasting, and I'm going to be by his side helping him with things because he might not be able to be too mobile. He is getting a second surgery on his knee. I think I might be able to do this, you guys. Hang on. I'm going to try it again. Okay, let's move to the computer. So yes, he's getting a second surgery on his knee to get the pins out. No, it's not letting me. All right, okay, I gotta pay some money. I'll do that, and then I promise you guys that I will pick a winner when we're not live. I'll pick 2 winners, and then I'll contact those people. And I promise I'll use this and I'll pay. But yes, he's getting his pins out. When he got his surgery done on May 1st, they put pins in to connect the 2 broken patella bones together. And he could have gone through his whole life without the pins being taken out, but he's on the thin side. He doesn't have a lot of fat on his body, and who knows, maybe someday in his life those pins will be irritating him. So they gave him the option, and he chose to go through surgery to get the pins removed, which I think was a smart idea. So he gets that done next Tuesday, and it's supposed to be a much quicker recovery time. I don't even know if we're going to need the brace, but if you could put him in your prayers, I would appreciate that. So I will see you on Wednesday, October 24th instead at 11 a.m. Central Time. And I have a question for you. The following Wednesday is October 31st. Now, it just makes sense to show something Halloween-y, but you can't buy any of the Halloween product and use it for Halloween, get it in time for Halloween, right? So I'm thinking what I'll do is maybe I'll just show something Halloween-y just to, you know, to kind of be festive. But I'll demonstrate something that's non-Halloween, if that's okay with you, on actual Halloween day, okay? So we will broadcast those 2 different days. Keep in mind also that after I'm done broadcasting, I will put in the notes of this broadcast links to the catalogs. If you would like to order, a link to my Stampers with Art Stars group. If you want to join my community of stampers, we sure have a lot of fun. My website. And of course, if you would like to shop online, you can certainly do that. If you already have a demonstrator or you are a demonstrator, go through that person. Otherwise, if you're new to stamping or you would like to purchase from me, you certainly can. I have a shop button on my Facebook page. Let's see if I can click on some of those little things here. Oh, there we go. Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel. So you can go there, or you can go to my actual blog at stampyourartout.com, and you can click on the shop button there to purchase any of these products. That's where you'll also find the link, the blog post on Saturday for this actual card and the video. So we will see you in a couple weeks. Put him in your prayers if you can. Thanks so much, you guys. Bye, everyone.